The Buffalo Bills are set to host the Baltimore Ravens in the divisional round of the playoffs on Sunday night in Orchard Park, and it will be a big test that they need to pass in order to keep their Super Bowl aspirations alive. Entering this game, the Bills are a perfect 9-0 at home this season, but this game will likely be their biggest challenge to date. The Bills and Ravens have already played this season, with Baltimore crushing Buffalo by a score of 35-10 back in Week 4, but that was a long time ago, and Buffalo didn't have the home field advantage that they do in this game. It's also important to note that Buffalo was far from full strength in the first meeting between these two teams, as they were missing defensive starters Matt Milano, Terrell Bernard, and Taron Johnson, while also being without Amari Cooper on the offensive side of the football. And another thing that is worth mentioning is the fact that the Ravens defense was struggling early on this season, but they have been a top unit in the league over the past 10 weeks or so. So a lot has changed since the first meeting between these two teams this season, and this game is the one that really matters most. It's a battle between the two MVP frontrunners who have a lot on the line in this game. Only one team can emerge victorious, while the other team will be sent home to reflect over the course of a long offseason. In this video, we'll be highlighting what the Buffalo Bills need to do in order to beat the Baltimore Ravens in the divisional round of the playoffs. So the Buffalo Bills need to score more points than the Baltimore Ravens in order to win this game. The end. I'm just kidding. Welcome back to the Bills Bunker, everybody. I'm Jake Varco, and in this video, I'll be highlighting exactly what the Buffalo Bills need to do in order to beat the Baltimore Ravens in the divisional round of the playoffs and move on to the AFC Championship game for a chance to play in the Super Bowl. But before we do that, I'd like to take a moment to encourage you to click that subscribe button. Stay tuned for more content coming away all season long and beyond. Thank you. Click like if you like this video. Let's talk about the Bills-Ravens massive showdown coming up this Sunday. We all know how the Buffalo Bills fared in their Week 4 visit to Baltimore earlier this season. They got crushed by the Ravens, but this time they're hoping to go bird hunting, and in order to have a successful bird hunt, they'll need to slow down Derrick Henry in the backfield, which is much easier said than done, but it has to be the number one priority for the Bills. Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson are a dynamic duo working out of the backfield for Baltimore, and they are incredibly difficult to slow down. But with that being said, if you can slow down Derrick Henry and keep him under 90 yards rushing, then you will force Lamar Jackson to shine, and he's more likely to make a mistake than King Henry. The veteran running back was held under 90 yards rushing just 7 times in the regular season, and the Ravens lost 5 of those 7 games. All 5 of Baltimore's losses came when Derrick Henry rushed for less than 90 yards. He is an integral part of their team, and slowing him down is the key to victory. I think it's impossible to completely stop Derrick Henry, but if you can contain him, that gives you a big boost and a much better chance at winning the game. In order for the Bills to do that, they'll need linebackers Terrell Bernard and Matt Milano to step up in a big-time way. This defense needs to limit Henry's big runs, and they need to wrap him up near the line of scrimmage, taking him down before he gets a big gain. The last thing that Buffalo wants to see in this game is a repeat of when Derrick Henry threw Josh Norman into outer space back in 2020. And another thing that the Bills don't want to see is a repeat of his Week 4 performance when he rushed for 199 yards against the Buffalo Bills defense. The defense obviously needs to do their job, but the offense can also help out by taking an early lead and forcing the Ravens to play from behind, which can take the option of running the ball away. If you look back at the Week 4 game between these two teams, Baltimore took a commanding 21-3 lead into halftime, and they never looked back because that game was never really in jeopardy. The Bills are known for being slow starters. They've shown it this season, but they can't afford to sleepwalk into this game because the Ravens will take full advantage of that tendency if they're given the chance. Playing from behind against a team with a rushing attack like Baltimore is a recipe for disaster. So it is really important for the Buffalo Bills to try getting an early lead in order to minimize the impact of Derrick Henry in this game. Force Lamar Jackson to throw the football. Force him to make some mistakes. Both teams are really likely to aim at controlling the clock with their offenses in this game, and whatever team can do that best while limiting mistakes on either side of the football is the team that is most likely to win this football game. For me, it's pretty simple. You got to try to slow down Derrick Henry. That is easier said than done. But I think that stat, 90 yards, if you hold him under that marker, I think you give yourself the best chance of winning this game. It's going to be cold. It's going to be hard to slow down Derrick Henry, and you're not going to want to hit him, but you're going to have to hit him if you want to win this game. He rarely fumbles the football. Derrick Henry rarely fumbles. Lamar Jackson, he's been playing pretty mistake-free, clean football, but out of those two, I don't want Derrick Henry to run all over the Bills like he did earlier this season. 199-yard performance, and that game was over by halftime. It will be over by halftime again if you allow Derrick Henry to have a repeat performance. If you don't believe me, let's ask former Buffalo Bills wide receiver Donald Jones what he thinks the Bills need to do to win this game.
This game is going to be tough. It's going to be a good game. If we can stop him behind the line of scrimmage, then we'll be fine. I think ultimately you got to stop Derrick Henry. You cannot allow him to just run the ball on you. If Lamar Jackson has a big game passing, then that's fine. But if you allow Derrick Henry to get going, then there's nothing we can do at that point.
Priority number one has to be slowing down Derrick Henry. I don't think you can stop him completely. He's a tank, but you need to slow him down and limit his production. Hold him to under 90 yards. You give yourself the best chance of winning. The other way that the Bills could win is by going into a shootout and having Josh Allen sling the ball consistently, but you'd rather have your defense help out, play some complementary football. That gives yourself the best chance of winning this game. That is what I believe the Buffalo Bills must do to defeat the Baltimore Ravens in the AFC Divisional round and move on to the AFC Championship, most likely against the Kansas City Chiefs, maybe the Houston Texans. I'm sorry, Texans. I'm not giving you much of a good chance here, though. But I want to know in the comment section down below, what do you think the Buffalo Bills need to do to secure this victory? Obviously, they need to score more points, like I said at the beginning of the game. But this is my recipe. You got to try to slow down Derrick Henry. That's priority number one. Lamar Jackson, he's someone who might make some mistakes out there if you force him to. Now, click subscribe if you haven't yet. I'll be at this Bills-Ravens game this weekend, recording my live reaction to the game. It's going to be cold. I'm going to be bundled up, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be a blast. Stay tuned for that content and so much more coming your way right here on the Bills Bunker. Let's go. Let's get this win. Go Bills.